Hello, and welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. And when I say I'm here every day, I mean every day. Now, this is going to be a little bit different, and we might be here a minute today. So I blew all of my work time this morning, a huge chunk of my work time this morning, working on astrographics as well as gathering questions and details. And today is, it's Thursday off. So I am discombobulated is a nice way to put it. So we're doing a little bit of a get ready with me, and we're going to do a, we're going to go through all kind of crazy stuff going on right now in the news. And then at the end, I'm going to walk you through, I've got a bunch of, not all of them, but I've got a bunch of the graphics from astrographics to help explain some of the things going on in Stephen Miller's chart. Yeah. Anyway, so I will say one of the things as I'm doing this, because right now I can't see the chat very well. I don't have my glasses on. But I will say that yesterday, yes, sweetheart, yesterday before I left, there was talk about President Moron wanting to invade Iceland. Now, did he misspeak? Or was he just running another one of his ridiculous ideas up the flagpole to see who salutes? So, but let me tell you that I didn't have time to really react to it before I got off yesterday, before I left. And I gotta say, I was shocked. I was shocked. And part of the reason I was shocked, and I was trying to find some humor, trying to find some levity in this insane situation. And it was like, you want to make Bjork mad? Do you really? Because it's not going to stay oh so quiet for long. And I love Bjork, so I love eccentrics, and man, is she ever. Anyway, so that was me trying to find some of the humor. Yeah, but this is nuts. And one of the things we are looking at today is there are a whole NATO's Europe, basically. Europe's putting a whole bunch of troops in Greenland right now as a military exercise. Yeah. So, oh, joy. All right, I will be able to put on my glasses in just a minute, but this is kind of where we are. Now, the good news is, I should say the bad news is that Republicans are kind of caving on Trump's ability to attack Venezuela the way he did, because they're cowards who won't stand up to an authoritarian. But one of the other things we've got today is his poll numbers are cratering, absolutely cratering. So 1 second here. And what was the other thing I wanted to tell you? Oh, I guess I could finish what I was saying at the first. Normally I'm a little better put together than this, but hello. I'm here every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Every weekday, weekend, holiday, your birthday, my birthday, I am here. I don't do personal readings, but we have a great community here. We really do. And we get through all of this craziness together. We have epic troll slayers who've kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. So thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. Well, you got to give me a couple minutes until after the live stream ends, because right now the notes, questions and notes and stuff are on a different tab, and it's a lot. So anyway, but it will be there, and you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed. So, all right, we're getting there. We're almost there. There was a woman on social media who was reacting to a video. She made a social media post reacting to a video of Kylie Jenner putting on her makeup or putting on her lipstick, and it was 5 different products, and then she only used 4, and the whole thing was ridiculous. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. All right. I don't know. A little pale. This is Revlon's Primrose, but I think I'm going to put some more pink, actual pink. This is like a K, fluorescent pink. So I'll put a little bit of this on top. Yes, just a second. You're so pushy. So I guess that's better. So I guess I am doing my best Kardashian thing. Anyway. Oh, that family gives me hives. All right. We're going to take this. 1 second. I'm going to walk over here. And I'm going to go like that. And we'll see how that goes. Just dump a blanket on him. See how it goes. Grab my blanket, fold it, and we're going to go. Which says I need red lipstick. I've got a lot of red lipstick, but there's no red in the overlay or anything today. So, Gail says, as long as the lady has her lipstick on. There you go. So, Raymond says, Operation Arctic Endurance. Oh, I knew it was endurance. I didn't know it was Arctic Endurance. I like that. Will be the first French military elements. The first French military elements are already on their way to Greenland. Okay. There was a typo in there somewhere, but I think I got the basic idea. Okay. Let's do this. There's a lot. Buckle in. G Green says, wow, great before and after look. Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, all right, let me pull up the correct. Let me pull up this tab, because that's what's actually going to help us get through these questions. Whew. There are a lot of questions here about Minnesota and ICE and what have you, and we are going to get to that. But I want to start with Greenland, and Goral was asking about this. So, like I said, normally I'm a little better put together. Some days. So grab a text editor, dump this in here, and then I can add the time stamping, and this is going to be great. Paste, and we're starting at 9 minutes 40 seconds in with Goral's question. Let's do this. Oh, what? Come on. Times are wasting. Just get some rest. All right. So there it is. 10:20. European allies have started sending troops to Greenland. Really? European allies have started sending troops to Greenland, preparing for the storm. This is from Goral. Waiting for the tantrum. Yeah. Lewis's boo-boo is hilarious. I know. Germany, Sweden, France, Norway, the Netherlands, Finland, and the UK are deploying military personnel for Operation Arctic Endurance. France sent 15 mountain infantry soldiers. Germany sent 13 reconnaissance personnel. The Danish PM said the American ambition to take over Greenland is intact. Yikes. It was also reported that's a strange thought, isn't it? That in this day and age, a group of NATO countries is considering deterrence against the United States itself. Oh, Denmark warns an attack on Greenland would all but end NATO. Okay, I looked at, yes, exactly, Dave. Arctic project, this is Operation Arctic Diversion. Yeah. G. Green says it's smart of the EU to send troops to Greenland for military exercises. Really smart. Nothing hostile, but prepared for hostile. Yes. Didn't I look at Greenland the other day? Or I looked at something about this topic, and it was talking more about if there are problems, the astrology isn't horrible right now necessarily, but there are some potential flashpoints more like April, June, that kind of thing. Byrne says, pray tell, diversion from what? Yeah. G Green, do you mean attack or attach? I mean, I am a hot mess today. So maybe it's just kind of falling off of me, the chaos. But in general, do me a favor and try to double check your posts before you hit enter. Okay, I'll move your stuff. I'll move my stuff out of your way, so that because there can be typos. Here we go. Here, come here. Here you go. Have a blankie. Hey. Come on. There. So, but it's overall. Welcome to Hot Mess Day. Yeah, I've got this suspension right in the middle. These are the Republican jerks who would go along with Trump, which is ridiculous. But there's international justice right there that is not happy. There you go, dear. There you go. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good boy. Sweetheart, I need to work, dear, and I'm gonna have to put you in the bedroom if you don't just lie down. Just lie down. Okay. So yeah, another bright idea brought to you by Moron Trump. This is not a position of strength. There's a big suspension there. I do have a 10 of swords and a 3 of swords, so he might try something. There's another bit of social media I saw where a man from Norway was saying, all right, as Norwegians, we have a new plan. World Norway. So we're going to buy your country, meaning the US, we're going to buy your country for $1. And we're going to give you free health care. We're going to reform your justice system. You're going to be run by us. And that's just the beginning. So the whole world shall be run like Norway. And I just looked at it and thought, well, obviously we don't want that, but we could do that. Yeah, we could. It could be worse. We could do worse. Yeah. Starts to get boo-boo comfortable. We'll work it out. Grace Gilbert says, sold. G. Green says, oh, please, Norway has trouble with diversity. It's a joke. It's not serious. It's a joke. There is diplomacy being tried behind the scenes. Boy, this makes us look bad. Oh, does this expose the cult? The cult of Trump to the world. It makes us look terrible. All the goodwill we managed to foster over decades or a century. Yeah. Now it's just cult of Trump. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that this jerk is in charge of this country. Phew. Sybil says Sweden has already taken the U.S. over with strategic deployment of flat pack furniture. I like that. It says, I like the tarot outfits. I get dinged by YouTube if I don't use them, so. Illusion, delusion, adding insult to injury. There is some higher wisdom, probably amongst NATO people themselves. Yeah, Trump could choose to do something, but, oh boy, Europe's not playing. I know, it's unimaginable. It really is unimaginable that we would be in any kind of conflict with Europe. Like, not like Germany or World War II, but I mean traditional allies of ours. But yeah, Dumpy will find out. Although while they're sending forces there, I don't know how many forces they are sending. So, Innocent Potato says, yes, someone in Europe suggested Greenland change its name to Epstein Island. Felon 45, 47 would never mention owning their country again. There we go. There we go. Grace says, the man-child who is never told no is throwing a tantrum. Ugh. So we'll keep an eye on this. He's isolated. Trump is really isolated. Yeah. There's this cult. Republicans are enabling him, waiting for his ship to come in. Chariot, 10 of Swords. Okay. I am getting mental images of back in World War II. One of the reasons that the U.S. came out of World War II as well off as we did was because our homeland here, now obviously Hawaii was bombed, but the continental U.S. was not. Whereas France, Germany, the UK, I mean, all of these countries dealt with firsthand all the heinousness. And let's just say that the education system in Europe is better about history than ours is. And I'm getting a mental image of, oh, you don't understand. Europeans, like, I'm getting this sense of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm getting this sense of, as Europeans, we have memory. We have, I'm not Europe, but I mean them, we have memory. We have creative ways to combat authoritarianism. That's what I'm getting. So, I don't know what that means, TJ. Do the work? I don't know what that means. All right. Valerie from Sage the Scales Tarot is here. Hello. I do follow Sage the Scales Tarot. My great-grandfather, Magnus Harkinson, who was straight out of Stockholm, Sweden, would be so hurt over this. I know. Trump's flailing. Really, what I'm getting here is he might try something, but Trump has been able to do what he does because he dissolves foundations. He's a liar. You can't pin things down. You can't hold him accountable. It dissolves. He dissolves foundations, and he's been dissolving foundations inside our country. But ultimately, he's dissolving his own foundation. So, could he cause a big stink? Yeah. But it gets weaker and weaker and weaker as it goes along. It's like when he attacked Venezuela. He shouldn't have done it. I can't stand Maduro. None of us can. But but it was a one and done. It was an in there and we're done. We don't have our military boots on the ground, whole, battalions moving in. No. And yes, G. Green, dementia's progressing. Oh, isn't it just? Okay, so at 2250, this was more specifically about Republicans vow to block Trump from seizing Greenland by force. Will their backbones crumble? Based on Venezuela, yes. Because, yes, the Senate GOP just killed the Venezuela War Powers Resolution Wednesday night after Hawley and Young flipped their votes following intense pressure from Trump and Rubio. So Fancy Pants had to cast the tie-breaking vote 50-50. Rand Paul called the administration's claim that there's no war an elaborate ruse. And Schumer said what had happened tonight is a roadmap to another endless war. Oh, goody. Did I see Angie come in? Oh, thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. It really helps. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Feisty Butterfly Tarot. Do follow Feisty Butterfly Tarot. She's a sweetheart. Shades of French Revolution. 45 is bonkers. Yes. Yes, he is. So, Republicans, are you going to remain invertebrates? This is bonkers. Whew. Speedy Holly. Oh, we're not doing this the whole time. Oh, we're not doing this the whole time. I will try covering it once more, and after that, I'm going to have to put you in the bedroom, which I don't want to do, but here we go. Okay. Republicans, hello. There's definitely no logic. in Trump's behavior. You have the power to do something about the emperor, but they're afraid of him. They're still afraid of Trump. And the fool trying to start military things he can't deal with. Democrats are absolutely sticking together. Far-right communication, military. I don't know, guys. I'm not saying it's gonna be a full-blown invasion, but I don't think this is going away. Sweetness. Hi. Are you having a day? Is that what's going on? Because you're tired. That's what happens. It happens to toddlers. It happens to kids. It happens to everybody when you're tired enough. There you go. All right, let's see if that works. With that, I don't know what's going on. Rose Blue, do your dang job. Republicans? Okay. Marie says, I would like a little snack next to my blanket, Mom, says Poo-Poo's and Kitty. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Mayor. Aaron Parnas is reporting today, President Moron publicly questioned whether the United States should even hold the upcoming midterm elections. Well, Dumpy, get stuffed, because we are going to hold the midterm elections. It's one of the reasons that elections are spread out across the different states. It's so the federal government can't come in and say, okay, we're not doing this. The states can go, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. And if red states don't want to hold elections, well, that's on them. But true, Angie, Congress doing its job would be a great idea. Yeah. All right, 3 more cards, and then see if there's anything else to pick up here, because this is really important. Hi, yay. Yeah, I'm picking up. He's going to do something stupid, and Republicans are not going to have a great backbone. All right, well, this is why we have protests. Yeah. All right, so. By the way, Woodpile Witch brought up something, and I haven't heard anything about this yet. Is it true that Mar-a-Lago had a party with people in dog costumes? A let them eat kibble party. I think Midas Touch called it. Okay, that's just weird. Yeah. Hang on. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's go to this 2840. At 2840. CNN's Harry Enten was saying that Trump has fallen off a cliff with Gen Z. Oh, Angie says, look up images, crazy pants. Oh, no. Oh, if it's on social media, I'm going to have to block some time to go through the comments because they're going to be, as the kids would say, lit. Anyway, CNN's Harry Enten says Trump has fallen off a cliff with Gen Z. Net approval dropped 42 points from plus 10 in February 2012 to minus 32 now. Gen Z Democratic margin tripled from plus 6 to plus 20. Gen Z is 56% independent versus the 40% average. Enten says Democrats got to take the ball off the ground and run with it. So, Pam says the pictures are hilarious. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, there's just a general refusal. Republicans managed to make some inroads. Don't ask me how. I, like many of you, would crawl over broken glass to vote against Trump, but some people did. Adding insult to injury, while Trump's in his bubble, there's Mar-a-Lago. Just a refusal to listen to decency. I think I read this morning that groceries have gone up, grocery prices have gone up 22% just in the last 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Cat Mom says ball gowns and dog heads. Oh no. Well, I know what I'll be bringing tomorrow. Yeah, they're moving their vote because it's unsustainable. Why we tried to tell you. Why did you listen? Why? I don't get it. Anyway, Lisa says, I would walk on fire to vote against dumpster. Yeah, so would I. Yeah. Tishy says, feels like that much this year. Oh. Julie's asking, yes, but will people get a chance to vote? I will have a look, but I have never picked up on us not being able to vote. 3140. Will there be midterm elections in the U.S.? Question mark. Whew. Rose Blue says ramen noodles used to be 10 cents a pack and now they're 30 cents. Yeah. Midterms. I was never here. We never had this discussion, right? Right? We didn't talk today. We didn't. It was kind of weird. She was like on for a second and then she was gone because we never had this discussion. Because the card for the reading isn't necessarily about voting, but it could potentially have consequences, I guess. Yeah. So we are absolutely partnering together. But this is also a card of healthcare. Magician, who's moving resources where? There's a big old tower. There's a Republican plan in following the President Blunderdum that does not bode well for the Republican plans. Major Arcana, Major Arcana, Major Arcana, Major Arcana. But we never had this discussion. This never happened. Anyway. All right, so yeah. I wanted to let you know at this isn't necessarily, I guess I could read on is more stuff like this going to happen. But speaking of money, Ford autoworker TJ Sabula, and forgive me if I if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. His GoFundMe closed. He called Trump a PDF, I can't say the word on YouTube, protector. Trump flipped him off and said, blank you twice. He was fired. This TJ was fired The United Auto Workers Union is fighting for his reinstatement. And Sabula told Washington Post he has, quote, no regrets whatsoever, unquote. So there was a GoFundMe. Yeah. So the GoFundMe closed, and he had received $811,000 in donations for calling Trump what he is. Good for him. He's, he was a United Auto Worker. So, he had a job that was very high paying, very, like, I can't even dream of making that much money. But good for him. So, Tam says truth hurts. Mm-hmm. I hope someone tells Trump, reminds Trump, tells him how much money this guy just received. And then watch Trump force the DOJ to come up with some kind of trumped up charges. That's really that's the new meaning of Trump's name. Trumped up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Joy says the union is on his side. Yeah. I'll tell you, I wouldn't, but if I got $811,000, I could live on that for the rest of my life. I wouldn't need anything else. Yeah, it's Amy. The what it says here is that the GoFundMe closed. It was only for a set amount of time, and he had received over $811,000 in donations in less than 48 hours after being suspended or fired, actually. So there's not much here. There's definitely a major arcana movement of resources, $811,000, but standing up to Trump's victory, quote unquote, far right communication, chaos, and far right on the defensive. So there's definitely movement here of the money, but other than that, it's this might just go by the wayside. So, and excuse me, I know this won't happen regularly because Trump is staying more and more in his bubble. Rose Blue says even after taxes. Yeah. Julie's asking, are GoFundMe proceeds taxable? I would imagine, but I don't know. I've never had a GoFundMe, so I don't know. Mayor, I'm afraid I don't know what that link is. It doesn't say what it is here. And okay. So, and okay, Trump falling asleep. We've looked at that in the past. Let's go back up here to Sybil's question at 3840. Thank you so much for being here today, especially with the mess things were at the beginning. But Shannon says they're treated like a windfall. Okay, thank you. So, oh wait, Amy's saying GoFundMe funds are considered gifts by the IRS, so non-taxable. I don't know. I mean, technically, when you guys are I should say so generous, thank you, to give me super chats. Those are donations. They're even called donations, but I get taxed on that money. So, oh, Rose Blue, thank you. T flips you off. You get $800,000. Priceless. Yes, thank you. Let me change this to 39. So Sybil was bringing up kind of what we're all talking about, really. Pam says, I just looked, it's not taxed. Oh, wow. Well, thank you. Now we know. I love learning new stuff. Thank you. President Dumpster Fire tweeted threatening to invoke, and this is so rich. This is so rich. It'll make your teeth hurt. Trump is threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act in response to violent, quote unquote, ICE protesters in Minnesota. Let me say that again. President Trump is talking about invoking the Insurrection Act on others. According to former White House staff, he's been dreaming of doing this since the Black Lives Matter protests. Will he? Trump posted on Truth, whatever it is, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law, stop professional agitators and insurrectionists, blah, 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 I will institute the Insurrection Act, all caps. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem confirmed she discussed using the Insurrection Act with the president. Nearly 3,000 federal agents have flooded the Twin Cities. There was another ICE pew-pewing. Hi. You should be resting. You get grumpy if you don't sleep this time of day. Yes, you're grumpy, but you're a good boy. And Tim Walz gave a rare primetime address calling on Trump and Noem to end the occupation. Wow. Wow. Okay. I don't know. It's okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Yes, we are. We're going to get through this. It's okay. It's okay. Just a little sweetness with very soft fur. He has very, very soft fur. Insurrection Act, huh? Woodpile Witch says, so I take the governor cannot call out his state guard to do his own bidding? Yeah. Well. Visualize 70 says, it's all too exciting, so Boo Boo can't sleep. Oh, there's a lot of movement. There are a lot of, this is not just 3,000 idiots going in to be awful. This is state, county, city, government, law enforcement, individuals, hiding people, protecting people, calling people out, recording people. And I believe Tim Walz also said, do record what they're doing. Do record what they're doing for potential future prosecutions. So, yes, Rose Blue, I have heard about Iran not having water. I have heard about that, but there weren't any questions about it earlier. So you can always put stuff in the questions before I come on. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Oh, the emperor. No clothes. His legacy. Oh, he will be remembered for this. Oh, yeah. And the ICE, as the knitting cult lady said on social media, and other people have said, the U.S., this country is too big to be occupied. It just is. And these agents do not actually have what it takes to keep this up. And there are a lot of very clever people who are very, very motivated against this ICE cruelty and awfulness, who are doing this is occult knowledge. This is hidden wisdom. And these flunkies are, yeah. Whew. Julia said, Margaret Atwood said that Americans are too ornery to be occupied. Yeah, I would feel better if we were protesting more. But I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will protest and continue to do so. What do you think, sweetness? Little fuzzy butt. Rose Blues were like 50 little countries, in a way. So, Insurrection Act, huh? Because that just came out. Those were just cards about ICE being in Minnesota. Insurrection Act, huh? Oh, okay. He thinks this is the way to go. But his idea of victory would not go so well. Yeah. And Tim Walz may not be running it again, but he's still governor. And I lived in Minnesota. I lived in the Minneapolis area for a number of years. And yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, not there may be Minnesota nice, but there's no Minnesota pushover. Anyway. So at 46:30, all right, so we're not going to do that. Okay, we've got that. We talked about the midterms. Okay, so at 46:50, we will cover this, and that will lead into something that might help you understand how the astrology of how someone like Stephen Miller can exist. I don't have everything done, but I've got a few things to show you. But right now, we're going to look at, Goro was pointing out the grifter has completely lost his marbles. No, lost his last marble. Huffington Post reports dumpster fire and Nazi Ferratu Stephen Miller have created a de facto Papers, Please secret police force. And fascism scholar Jason Stanley said, quote, "It looks like Trump is organizing a militia beholden only to him with an enormous budget, reminiscent of the," I'm not going to be able to pronounce this correctly. I'm so sorry. Sturmabteilung in 1930s Germany. The first part is storm something, and I don't think it's storming of the lungs, but Sturmabteilung. Anyway, you'll know what it is. Former Trump White House lawyer Ty Cobb said Adolf had the SS and the Gestapo. Trump and Vance have Noem. Bagman Homan. Oh, wow. Yeah, I know people have talked about a bagman, meaning moving money. But yeah, there's a whole other different kind of bagman. Much, much worse. And yeah, Bagman Homan, DHS, and ICE. Fiona Hill says dumpster fire is emulating Putin. And Nazi Ferratu himself, Stephen Miller, has declared that ICE officers have, quote, federal immunity, unquote. So good that an unelected official who is a vile pile of cells has declared that ICE agents have immunity. Thank heavens he's there. Okay, sweetie. Okay. You're okay. So, basically, you've got your own. They're trying to form at least a group of brown shirts. But yeah, possibly bigger than that, Gestapo level. I mean, it's all bad. It may not. It may not be history repeating itself, but boy, can it rhyme. He's getting away with this for now, but okay. Right now, because the Republicans are being useless, this is moving forward. Finzenberger, thank you so much. It makes such a difference. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, he's, of course, sitting pretty as long as you're white and rich. But everyone else, everyone else should just Miller also thinks that he can do what Trump does and just sow confusion and all of this, and that Stephen Miller thinks he has the kind of charisma Trump has. Oh, it's hysterical. But and they're trying to be awful, but there's the government, and they're Democrats getting control back of the government with happy families. So yeah. Lewis says he has the charisma of a dead fly. That is true. And Ideas in the Flow said he has the charisma of a wet paper bag. I'd say at best. So, I wanted to show you something. All right, it isn't finished, but I'm working on it because these things are not easy for me to build. They take time. But I wanted to show you, open that, close that. So I was pulling together Nosferatu Miller's astrology to have a look at it. And I was also pulling together some of the astrographics images that I'm working on. I'm hoping to have the course out at the end of August because it's a lot of work, but I'm getting there. So anyway, if I take this down and share this. Okay, so let me share this with you. All right, and this is in Canva. So, all right, so can you see this? Just making sure. Yes, you can. Okay. That over there is dumpster fire. I keep saying dumpster fire. That is Stephen Miller's chart. And there are a number of things there, but I wanted to explain. Now, here's the thing about astrology. If someone says something about a particular sign or placement, and it's something that you have, and what they're saying is what is traditionally believed for that sign or placement. And you're like, I'm not like that. There could be a number of things going on. One, we are all more than just our sun sign. That is why people are so unique in astrology. And astrology teaches we are supposed to be unique. We are supposed to be not one of 12 signs. We are a sun in a sign. We are a moon in a sign. We are an ascendant in a sign. We are a Mercury, a Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, etc. And that forms the whole picture. The other thing is that you make decisions about how you want to act. And that you can be on the high vibration of a placement, or you can be on the low vibration. And that's your choice. That's free will. And the other thing is that people around you, because everyone's an embodiment of the moment in space-time when they were born, people who come into your life will bring out different parts of your chart because they're almost like a permanent transit of whatever was in the sky at that moment. So it's you need the big picture, personal choice, and the people you surround yourself with, or the family you were born into, or whatnot. So I'm going to talk about some things here, but if you happen to be, for example, you're a Virgo, you are not anything like Stephen Miller. All right. So I just want to throw this out there. So anyway, first of all, so Stephen Miller is his sun is just barely into Virgo. And in astrographics, Virgo is the sign of the craftsman. It is this incredibly meticulous, just amazing. In the earth signs, I joke that Taurus grows things, Virgo crafts them, and then Capricorn makes them expensive. It's just a way to remember. But there is a meticulousness to Virgo, detail-oriented traditionally. It can cover things like healthcare or bureaucracy or a number of things, but things that you really have to pay attention to detail. And we don't actually know what sign, for example, the country of Japan is. Every country has their own chart. And some people would say even have multiple charts. That's a different argument. But we don't actually know. We don't know a founding date of Japan because it is so far back in the past, and it wasn't recorded and written down the way you get like William the Conqueror in the UK. My opinion, so that's all this is, because we don't know. My opinion is Japan is Virgo. Japan is the most Virgo planet on this earth. And I love it. There is this mix of incredible craftsmanship, unlike anybody else. But there's also a conformity, bureaucracy. There is a Japanese saying, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a Japanese saying, the nail that sticks out will be hammered down, that kind of thing. So that's how in Virgo you get the katana, which is the sword. That's how you get sushi, this incredibly crafted food stuff. It's amazing, but Virgos can also get a bad rap for being bureaucratic, nitpicking, and the word being persnickety. Valerie says, us first decade Virgos do not claim him. I understand. If you choose to be the worst form of Virgo, then the absolute worst. I mean, unlike if you wanted to be the worst Virgo, embody the worst Virgo energy of all time, you would be crafting camps. And I'll leave the details to you. It's this it's an attention to detail and insistence on a conformity to a way of thinking that is, when Pluto was in Virgo, it went into Virgo in about 1956. And it kicked up all this Virgo energy. And all through that time period, right around there, the women had cut their hair fairly short for World War II. But by the 50s, women having short hair was the only way to look. If you go back and watch the videos of the time, it was the only way to look put together, because you couldn't have long hair. It couldn't be contained and crafted and curled and, all this kind of stuff. So that's he's sun in Virgo. I don't have the graphics up here, but he has his moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is, in this respect, Sagittarius is the philosopher. And if Sagittarius goes really, really bad and moon is your emotional side, Sagittarius can become a zealot. My philosophy is the way. It must be the way. And it's, if you look over there, you can see the moon at about 10 o'clock, if that was a clock face, right just down from it, you have that thing that looks like an H. That's Uranus. It was discovered by a man named Herschel. And Uranus is that bolts out of the blue, the thinking outside the box. So basically, he's happy being a zealot who is a weird little troll. Because the low side of Uranus is you're just weird. And then down there is Neptune in Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of the aristocracy. You're like in the UK, you're the manors, the lord of the manor, that kind of hierarchy, all this kind of stuff. That's his dream, this hierarchy. There will be no equality. And that's in his first house. So how he presents himself is, no, there will be no equality. So there are just 3 more things I wanted to mention, and then I'll be done. This right here, this picture right here with the woman, that I don't have the text on it, but this is actually a video. This is just an image that's moving. That is Venus in Cancer, which is this lovely seaside, emotional. Cancer is ruled by the moon, the big mom, motherly energy. When Pluto went into Cancer, it was 1914. And everyone's idea of my family, my tribe, my home is love of home. Venus is what you love, how you love. So it was all this love of home. Even, and I portray Venus in Cancer as like the quilt maker, because it's Venus, beautiful, can be absolutely beautiful. And quilts can comfort you. They can warm you. They can make you feel safe, or someone can smother you with them. And that's what Miller has. So it's like, oh, look, a love of the kind of stuff that started World War I. Yeah. And then his Mars is the same as Stephen Miller's Mars is the same as Trump's, which is Mars in Leo. And that is the big gold armored head of the King's Guard. It's, yeah, Mars can always, throw down, but it's there's a whole lot of pomp and look at me, look at me, look at me. It's like, yeah, that fits. They have that in common. And this is interesting because Pluto moves slowly. So not everyone who was born the year or the years around when Miller was born will be like him. But Pluto becomes, some people say it's a generational planet because it moves so slowly. But the reality is that it's in your chart. So it is going to affect who you are. It's going to affect you as a person, what house it's in, what aspects it has. It's like a little nuclear power plant that's sitting in your chart. Pluto rules plutonium. And that energy can warm entire cities, or it can blow up and make somewhere uninhabitable for 10,000 years. So Pluto, Stephen Miller has Pluto in Scorpio. And in the whole thing of Scorpio, you could think of it like a film noir. The sun in Scorpio is the private detective. The Venus in Scorpio is the femme fatale. Pluto in its own sign of Scorpio becomes a kind of mob boss. And of all the times, back when George Orwell wrote a book, I think it was in the 40s. He published it in the 1940s, I think. Of all the times he could have chosen to come out with a book like 1984, he chose 1984, which is the year that Pluto, it had gone in and retrograded back, but it finally, for good, for the next X many years, Pluto went into Scorpio, which is, so you get the whole big brother authoritarianism. Pluto's all about that. So he is embodying that 1984 energy. And for what it's worth, I made that cover too. That isn't an official cover of the novel 1984. That's one. This is one I put together earlier. So, so if you start putting all that together, you get this persnickety over attention to bureaucracy and details. You get this mob boss, big brother mentality. You get this smothering tribe, love of tribe. And you get this big, gaudy, showy bully. Look at me, guard. And you also have, over there, you also have Mercury in Leo, which is much like the guard here in gold. Mercury in Leo is like the royal messenger. And he wrote speeches, or still writes speeches for Trump. All right, so that is it. So I know that's a lot, but I hope it helps. You just take the, oh, there was one other thing I forgot to mention. Okay, see the blue circle near the top? That is Pluto, that mob boss authoritarianism. That is in the same place as his midheaven. So that's how he gets success in life. That's his career. Not everybody who has that is this bad, but it makes a lot of sense that he has authoritarianism on that midheaven. But also it's in the same sign as his south node. And as we've talked about in the past, your north node is kind of your work order in this life, what you're here to do. But your south node is what you're more comfortable with. And if you focus on the stuff in your south node, you'll like it, but you won't get anywhere. You will stagnate. And if this man's authoritarian Pluto on his midheaven isn't the embodiment of stagnation, I don't know what is. So, all right. Raymond says, thank you for explaining astrologically why Miller is pure evil. And he doesn't have to be. I guarantee you there are people who were born at a similar time and place to Stephen Miller who have not gone evil. They have chosen to be evil. Because all of this could go in a really lovely way. Anyway, all right. That will end it for today. I went well over time, but I wanted you to see what I had come up with. And this is what I'm working on for these kind of explanations and images, and a lot more images are what are going to be in the astrographics course. So, all right. Sean says, thank you for all the dedication and work you continue to do for us. Oh, thank you for being here. I truly love you. Oh, thank you. Sending you love and light. You in the chat peeps are my good therapy. Love and light to all. Absolutely. Thank you. That's very sweet. And Amy says, that was really good. I love when you do the astrology. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So that is going to do it for me for today. But thank you so much for being here. And just put that back up for a second. You're not alone. You really aren't. And we really are in this together. And there are good days ahead. There are. It's 1:24 p.m. Yeah, I went well over. It's 1:24 p.m. here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. Links in the description. You're always welcome. Just want to encourage you to work on your dreams. And other than that, I'll be right back here tomorrow because I'm here every day. New art, new content, new questions, you name it. We're in this together. So take care. Right? And as always, I'll see you later. All right. Okay. Bye. Say goodnight, boo-boo.